Hi, I'm Simon King. So why did I choose the SG? And why did I choose to submit to such a viral YouTubery influency type of headline? I have no idea, but here we are. I've asked the question, so let's try and answer it. Primarily, a lot of people, I'm sort of asking this really because a lot of people are like, an SG, you're using an SG? Right, wow, cool. And it's like, is it cool? Is it cool I'm using an SG to play Fusion on? I'd never even considered it. And I don't know why people seem surprised that I'm playing an SG. So the first thing to kind of talk about is the fact that it isn't an SG, obviously. It's a Tokai, Japanese Tokai SG, that's been modded with some lovely Marmar pickups. Big shout out to Marmar pickups, and there's some electronics inside as well, some American, some capacitors and stuff. So it's not actually technically an SG, but it's I played on SGs, and actually I actually prefer this Tokai. Like a lot of people, the Japanese Tokais are as good, if not better, than some of the originals of these things. So yeah, this is a lovely instrument. I'm going to list a few things. If I was in YouTuber mode, I'd be like the 5 amazing things that I love about the SG, but I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to one viral headline is enough for me for today. So I'm just going to talk about the reasons why I like this guitar so much. First thing is the neck. The neck is glorious. It's just a great big thing. It's a great big thing, and the string spacing's lovely. It feels like a sort of nice mix of, you know, the sort of acoustic neck where you get a good amount of space between the strings and you have a real clarity of vision, as opposed to Tellys and Strats, which I love, by the way, but they're very closed and very kind of like a little more fiddly. So for kind of nice open voicings and stuff like that, I think primarily probably these were designed for rock and big power chords, but actually, you know, for jazz fusion, I mean, it's a similar sort of approach. I mean, you look at a lot of those kind of players, like Holsworth played on an SG for a while, and then ended up playing on a Carvin or a Kiesel, whatever those headless guitars are. And the string spacing is quite similar on those. Even Frank Gambale plays on an Ibanez, which has got that kind of neck as well. So players seem to sort of gravitate towards things that are kind of all-rounder guitars, because you need to have that kind of really nice, those kind of, that kind of nice sort of clean sound as well. So you need to have that kind of big open sort of ability to play, you know, almost jazz type of things as well. Big voicings that have kind of a lot of rich, close voicing, close notes reacting to each other, and get that kind of, you know, get that space between the strings so that you can get that. Well, I'm obviously hypothesizing here, but that's part of the reason why people choose the big box guitars, I think, so they can get that. The clarity of tone in the individual notes to make big, close, big and close. Can they be two things? To get big, you know, kind of lots of chord voicings sounding nice and rich and resonant. So, but you kind of get that on the SG. But then combined with that, it's very light, which I love, because I've got this superb strap recently, which helps a lot with weight distribution. But it really feels like there's nothing there at all. It's like, it's very, very light, you know, which I really like. So that's one reason I think with the driven tones is, you know, what the SG does really well. So stuff like this. You know, so it's like one of those. You've got that kind of. It's almost like a utility guitar. It's got that sort of. It's got the ability to sort of switch between two modes, and also, you know, as well as these kind of. As well as that, you've got the ability to do the kind of Mike Stern thing as well. Got that kind of like that really Mike Stern. I find it hard to describe really, but it's like quite a woolly sound, and I mean that with all the love in the world, obviously. But it's kind of. But then also you've got the ability to play. You know, if you had to play sort of more bluesy type of stuff like this. It's really gritty and really kind of really gritty and gives you that kind of real cut, especially if you put on this bridge pickup. And actually for fusion, sometimes you do need that thing to just go. And this does it really well. I mean, like, special shout out to the Scuffum S-Gear version 3 plugin, which is phenomenal. So all of these sounds are available on that. Actually, I'm going to release all of these presets. I'll be dropping those online fairly shortly. So really, in summary, you've got this sort of a real nice mix and range of abilities. So it's like, and actually, the most important thing is this is a guitar I'm very familiar with. An old friend of mine who's a very, very good guitarist once said to me, like, you know, guitars are just like a piece of wood with things strung across them. You know, like some sort of 10,000 quid guitars play like shit, and some 100 quid guitars play so well. You know, and this is a really cheap guitar, but it's something I've got used to. It's a good friend. It's an old friend. I know what it does. I know its quirks. I know where it fails. And I know the sort of nooks and crannies of how I can get the sounds that I want from it. But even with these 3 pickup presets and these 2 tone wheels here, you can get all of the range of things that I would use 95% of the time in a jazz fusion setting. Everything from that kind of warm, kind of Mike Stern thing to a very hard driven tone, kind of Holsworth style melodic kind of thing. It's got beautiful sustain, primarily because of these incredible pickups here. But then you've got just a straight clean sound, unadulterated, just a pure clean sound that comes out really nicely just because of this neck, the string spacing. Feels comfortable, doesn't weigh too heavily, because if you're making fusion music, it's very hard, and you'll probably be doing things over and over again because it's very hard. So you don't really need a 100-weight guitar around your neck. So that's my how many reasons was that? 4 or 5 reasons why I chose to use an SG copy to make our fusion album with.